Hey everyone, it's Joel Cooper from Lionhouse Fitness, and today I wanted to talk about my story of spina bifida and overcoming spina bifida. So on June 16th, 1997, I was born 2 months premature with spina bifida myelomeningocele. And this is something a lot of people can gather from stuff that I post online, things that I've talked about before, or even the type of clientele that I try. But anyway, it's something I'm extremely open about. I talk a lot about and I advocate a lot for because not many people know what spina bifida is like, and there's a lot of stipulations and negative things that are thought about spina bifida and that are said about spina bifida, especially in my case, where when I was born, doctors told my parents that I would never be able to walk, that there was a small chance of me talking, and that there really wasn't much that I was able to do growing up, and that I would hardly amount to anything, which I think is funny because I was freshly born and they were already kind of putting me in a born to lose situation, so to speak. They didn't really give me a chance, and they seem to do that a lot with people that have spina bifida. Growing up, I was kind of a different kid because of my spina bifida. I was a little more sheltered when it came to school and when it came to anything outside of home. But at home, my parents let me be who I wanted to be. They put me in a regular public school, which I was treated a little bit differently because of my leg braces and the issues that came with my spina bifida. And not only that, but by teachers as well. They saw me as a little more stupid than the other kids. They didn't give me very many chances when it came to a lot of things. Anytime I acted out or did something different, it was the spina bifida's fault, or it was this or that and the other, kind of just like shunning me away from everything else, away from the other kids, this and that and the other. But then at home, my parents didn't have any issues with me other than the medical stuff that someone with spina bifida has to go through, which I do every day and I've done every day since I was about 4 or 5 years old. But it's stuff that's never stopped me, fortunate enough. I ended up learning to play drums. I'm self-taught. When I was 4 years old, I played until I was about 18 years old. All through high school, I was in a death metal band, and then prior to that, I took many years of drum lessons. I learned anything from jazz to metal to rock to gospel, you name it. And then stuff like this and branching myself out turned into playing sports with the neighborhood kids, despite my leg braces and despite, you know, having the issues on my hand that I do. It didn't really stop me. I was running around, even though I was a bit slower and a bit more fragile than the other kids. It didn't stop me. I just kept going. And I felt like, despite my spina bifida, despite the bullying, despite the 20-something surgeries I had, and despite everything that I've been through, I was pretty much an unstoppable kid. Sorry. An unstoppable kid, because I didn't really know that I had spina bifida until later on, when people would point out, why do I have leg braces? Why do I have this hand issue? Why do I walk differently? And I was like, what are you talking about? I don't even know what you're talking about. And I just genuinely did not think that I had spina bifida. Because it didn't stop me. And then come high school, I ended up taking a weightlifting class for 3 years that transferred into a personal training certification, if you wanted it, which I ended up doing. This class was not something I thought I could do, but I signed up for it on a whim because my friend talked me into it, and I ended up somehow falling in love with it, falling in love with the idea of self-improvement, of strength, and of being something that's different than what people say you are, in a good way, not in a negative way. So, for example, using my spina bifida and my story to kind of put a positive note into other people's life and have a role model to look up to, instead of just feeling sorry for myself and like, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that. And that's what I try to explain to other people with spina bifida, is that only you can make your limits and your possibilities and if you hold yourself down, then that's something that's on you. It's not on anybody else, but you are the only one that can judge whether you can or cannot do something. And that's why I tell all people with spina bifida or any disability or even without a disability to try something that they think they can't do before they just say they can't do it. And despite any differences that you might have, for example, I have leg braces. I have a gait when I walk where my hip goes in and out like this, so it's kind of like this. I almost look like I'm dancing when I'm walking, as weird as that sounds. Um, I have a shunt, which is a tube that drains brain fluid into my stomach, which is now broken from deadlifting, so I'm not sure what the deal is with that. But despite all this, it's never stopped me, um, and it should not stop you. Take the precautions that you need because of your spina bifida, take the extra time and the extra help, but when it comes to mastery and figuring yourself out and overcoming yourself and then finding obstacles that you need to overcome, I say go 100% full force into it all. And nobody can turn your story of something that's negative or can be seen in a negative light and making it positive but you. And I wanted to keep this video kind of short and kind of a motivational video, but you can find more stuff like this through my email list, which you can find on linehousefitness.com. You can find it on my Instagram. You can also DM me or message me on Facebook or my website to make adaptive programs, to make certain adaptive videos, or to request other content like this.